Ready to go, Green Wolf Pack? We're back, and we're doing another surprise tier list. Once again, returning to the Mighty Morphin world of Power Rangers. And we're doing another color I have yet to do, the Green Ranger. Yep, got a tier list on all the Green Rangers, at least all the ones released so far. All the way from Tommy Oliver to Izzy from Cosmic Fury. And some extras. Don't worry, we'll be going over basically every Green Ranger who's ever appeared in the Power Rangers medium. Except for, like comics and all that. We do have one on here, but that was because I did every other version of the Psycho Rangers. So yeah, gonna be doing another tier list. This time gonna be ranking all the Green Ranger characters, including familiar faces we've seen before, like Carlos and Tommy Oliver and Adam, who are back once again. Gonna be ranking all the Green Rangers on this tier list, up from best to worst. So I'll go over it if this is your first ever tier list. So I'm gonna be taking all the characters down here, putting them up here on this tier list. Up top we have the best, down at the bottom we have the worst, and these are all the different slots. So, top one we have Forever Green. These ones are the perfect ones, the 10 out of 10s, the awesome Green Rangers ever, and we might be seeing a lot of fan favorite characters up here. Everyone loves these Green Rangers. They did the Power Rangers franchise a great honor, and basically made Ranger history. Then, next one we have Emerald Knight. These ones were pretty good, not fully great, not perfect, had some flaws, some scratches, didn't quite make their mark on Ranger history, but they were definitely good characters in their own right. Definitely the good knights to don the green armor. Then we have Beta Bridge. These ones, they're mid, they're mediocre, they're alright. It's a reference to one of the characters if you know your Ranger lore very well, but yeah, basically they were fine. I just checking, making sure my stuff works. Looks like it's on. Alright. Yeah, Beta Bridge, these ones, they were fine. Had their good moments, but also have some bad moments, some criticisms here and there. They were definitely the mid-tier Green Rangers. Then, we have Light Green. I think it speaks for itself. These ones, lightweights, below average, not that great, pretty forgettable. Not the worst Green Rangers ever, but definitely not the best either. Hi, Fatal Waffle. Hi, Akira Yamaguchi. Glad you can make it. Hi, Cat. So, Green Rangers. Yep, we are doing green instead of blue because there's a lot more blue to talk about. So I wanted to do a lighter tier list. Hopefully. We'll see if this one breaks 8 hours. But yeah, got a fewer selection of Green Rangers so it'll be easier to go over. Anyways, light green, below average. Then we have the question marks. These ones, I don't know. Unknown, I'm unfamiliar with. I have not watched this Ranger series, and we will be seeing some of the later greens down here. Sorry, I just don't have familiarity with them, so they go into this one. But at rock bottom, we have Green with Envy, the F tier, the 0 out of 10s, the awful ones, the worst Green Rangers to ever don the armor. Like Green Keeper from Go-Go Rangers is a mentor and less evil than Red Keeper. Also have a hammer. Alright, making sure my stuff's working. Don't want any disconnects like one time we did. So yeah, I got every Green Ranger on here, at least all the ones that have appeared so far, from Tommy Oliver to Izzy from Cosmic Fury, and some extras on here too. I know you might not know some of these ones, but we'll be talking about basically all the key Green Rangers, the best and the worst. So, for those of you who don't know, Power Rangers is a really kick-ass show, and each of the colors had their own personality. Now, the green one is usually, I would say, the odd man out, the oddball, the weird friend, the one that was kind of the new guy, the dork, the comic relief, had a lot more of an eccentric personality compared to all the other Rangers. Red is the leader, Pink is the female, yellow is usually the tomboy, blue is usually the lancer, the second in command, green is usually the odd one in the group, the new guy like Tommy Oliver, the lone wolf like Adam, the tech guy like Cam, or the weirdo like Ziggy and Bridge. The green one definitely had a wider variety of character personalities, but the green one, usually not the serious one, minus Tommy Oliver. A lot more of a unpredictable persona, I would say. We all know that Tommy will be top rank. R.I.P. Tommy. Yep, R.I.P. Jason David Frank. We all know this Tommy's probably gonna win this one finally. So, no elephant, green jungle fury ranger. I think that's this guy. It's his human form. I know it's hard to tell. I did not make this tier list. It's another one I found, and unfortunately, this one does not have pictures of them in their green forms. At least, not all of them, but I think this is this guy, Fant, from Jungle Fury. Also, Dino Fury has a lesbian Green Ranger, so I've heard. Yeah, I'm gonna be talking about all the Green Rangers, at least all the ones I know, and toss the ones I don't know much about down in the question mark. But I'm sure you're all looking forward to this one. Green Ranger is a very popular color since the Mighty Morphin era, because the Green Ranger was originally the first 6th Ranger. It was the new teammate, Tommy Oliver, and kind of what solidified Tommy Oliver as an icon in the Rangers franchise. Tommy ended up being their first 6th Ranger, and of course, he was the color green. He was the Dragon Ranger, and this made him super iconic because it helped boosted Mighty Morphin's ratings and added a fresh new face among the team after their own solo adventures at first. Master Fant, his weapon is a mace that can break anything. Yeah, that's his name. Fant. It's short for Elephant. So I see Beast Morphers, Ninja Steel, and Dino Thunder have no Green Ranger. Yeah, green, exactly like black, has come and gone. We've had some shows that did have a Green Ranger, but some that did not. Green, I guess, wasn't as staple a color as red, blue, and pink. We always see red, blue, and pink in every Ranger show. Green is one that kind of got tossed in to mix things up. Some shows had a Green Ranger, and some did not. There's like no Dino Thunder green. There's no, like, oh, okay, sorry, messed up my words here. Yeah, there's no Dino Thunder green. I don't think, yeah, I'm trying to remember what the show's, yeah, Wild Force didn't have a green, that's it. Wild Force also didn't have a green, and In Space did not have a green at all either. Green was definitely like black. It came and went. Sometimes we had Green Rangers, and some shows we did not. Green was definitely, I would say, the more mystical color of the group. The green character was usually the most eccentric one, or had the more different personality compared to the group dynamic the main color Rangers had. Wild Force had a green Zord, the gorilla. Also the deer Zord. The deer Zord was also green. Sorry, I got my 5,000 waters to stay hydrated, but yeah, there were apparently green Zords in Wild Force, but ironically, no Green Ranger. So I guess we should get this list underway for all of you waiting. Don't have a huge selection, so hopefully this one will be short, but let's do it. Let's talk about the one you all want to see, Tommy Oliver, the first Green Ranger, and surprise, going into Forever Green. Yeah, this one might already be our number one, because Tommy Oliver, he's a classic. I talked about him so many times, but this is pretty much Tommy Oliver's debut as a Ranger. The Green Ranger story arc and his redemption arc are pretty much the fan favorite story of Mighty Morphin. It's the intro to our 6th Ranger. Tommy Oliver is a lone wolf, mysterious, troubled bad boy who comes to Angel Grove, and he's essentially brainwashed by Rita Repulsa into being her own evil Ranger warrior, the Green Ranger. Yep, the Green Ranger is actually a villain. Tommy is on the dark side at first, being mind controlled by Rita Repulsa to murder the Rangers, and he becomes an archenemy towards Jason, the Red Ranger. And it leads to a very loved story arc and a great mystery, basically building up Tommy and the Rangers fighting each other. The Green Ranger is a bad guy up until they finally break him free of his brainwashing, and Tommy becomes a good guy and uses his Ranger abilities for good, turning against Rita Repulsa and eventually Lord Zed when he comes in, and becoming their 6th Ranger. And that kind of solidified Tommy Oliver's place in Ranger history because it began the trend of the 6th Ranger was always the coolest. Yeah, all the main Rangers were dinosaurs. The Green Ranger was a dragon. He was a dragon. He had a dragon Zord. He had his own Megazord. He had that dagger, which could be a flute he could play. Pretty cool stuff. Sorry, just catch up on comments. Dr. K should have been a green Beast Morpher Ranger in Beast Morphers. Yeah, she should have been, but Beast Morphers was an incompetent show. But the snake DNA was wasted on Evox. Yeah, don't you mean Venjix? I don't know if it was a Mandela effect, but involved with the green candle. Yeah, there were candles. The candle was like the life force. Eventually, Tommy would lose the green powers and update to being the White Tiger Ranger. We talked about that on a separate tier list, but yeah, Tommy almost lost the Ranger abilities, but he came back swinging and got revived as the White Ranger. But the green one, everybody loves. It's like the iconic mascot for Mighty Morphin. He was that popular. And as we all know, Tommy Oliver became a well-respected fan favorite character in this franchise. He was in Mighty Morphin. He stuck around even as the White Ranger. He was in pretty much all the movies. He became the Red Ranger in Zeo. He became the Red Turbo Ranger, unfortunately. And we would see him come back in Dino Thunder as a Black Ranger. And just when you thought he was finally done, he came back as the Green Ranger again, somehow in Megaforce. Yeah, Tommy was such a fan favorite that, of course, they made him the Green Ranger all over again for that epic anniversary crossover battle where Jason David Frank showed up in the green armor because that was his classic outfit. Fun fact, Yamato Tribe Knight Biral is Tommy Oliver's Green Ranger Japanese counterpart. So wouldn't green be willpower for the Rangers like Hal Jordan? Yeah, that would have made sense. You're not late, Axel. We're just starting with Tommy Oliver. Hi, sorry I'm late. Don't worry about it. This one's gonna be pretty short. I thought Tommy Zord was a dinosaur, not a dragon, as it looked like a Western dragon and not an Easter one. Well, yeah, that's kind of the point. It was a more Western influenced show by then. He did have a Dragon Zord, I do remember that. We need a Green Lanterns tier list. Maybe someday. Well, except for the 2017 movie. Yeah, well, Jason David Frank was technically in there. He did cameo, and Tommy Oliver's used as sequel bait for that movie, but we'll get to that eventually. Oh, and he came back in all his forms in Ninja Steel. Okay, I've not watched Ninja Steel. I was only familiar with him showing up in Megaforce because that's what all the images online are. I saw all the clips, all the pictures of Jason David Frank back in the full-blown green armor, and kind of confusing because Linkara points out that there's like 3 Tommies in the crowd because his Black Dino Thunder Ranger form and his Red Zeo form are also in the back. Still remember that Tommy's actor's last TV appearance was in the We Bare Bears Power Rangers parody. I'd have to see that. I've not watched We Bare Bears. Also, people want Tommy Oliver versus Lloyd from Ninjago for a death battle. That could work, but wouldn't it be in like Lego forms? You mean that sequel that never came out? Yeah, the 2017 movie was supposed to get a sequel, but it did not do well, and I am honestly not surprised. Rewatch that film and you will see it is pretty bad. But yeah, Tommy Oliver was used as sequel bait, and believe it or not, we actually do have his cameo down here. Because we need some in the bad slot, but Yeah, is there really anyone going to question this? Tommy Oliver is one of the greatest Rangers of all time, and he might be number one because, of course, his first color was the Green Ranger. He is the definitive Green Ranger for a lot of people, and became an iconic name amongst the Power Ranger mythos and fan base, so he is definitely a forever Green. You need to talk a lot about Tommy in this tier. Well, come on, give me a break. We got like another 20 Rangers down here. If you remember, I mentioned an idea I had based on Power Rangers where there's this organization that was going to destroy worlds that have life on them to keep Earth safe because of the stuff done by... I need to carry that one on. The reboot tarnished the good name of the Rangers. Yes, it did. It really did. I wish Tommy's son be the new Green Ranger, maybe in the Disney Plus version. Well, I heard Disney might be smashing the reset button because Netflix has gotten the Ranger continuity so scattershot and broken that they might as well just start over. I wouldn't be surprised if they hit the reset button, but I'm just really praying that they're not gonna do a whole new reboot of Mighty Morphin. It's like, guys, it's okay if we move on from Mighty Morphin. It's a classic. It'll never be topped. Stop trying to chase the lightning in the bottle again. The sequel that never came out. Yep, that's it. So in Sentai, green was introduced as a core Ranger color. Tommy's son is the new SPD Green Ranger in the comics. Okay, that actually sounds pretty cool. Unfortunately, his son never appeared in the actual show, so didn't make the tier list. Yeah, Tommy Oliver's going on forever green. He was green at the start, and Jason David Frank did don the armor one last time in Megaforce. Pretty much the only reason why people watch Megaforce was to see Tommy and all the old Rangers from 20 years of Ranger shows come back. I was more excited to see Carter Grayson and Wes come back. I was shocked that they actually did get Astronema to come back in that show, and really weirded out that Dana, of all characters, came back as a Pink cameo. It's like, was anybody really excited to see Dana come back? She didn't do anything in Lightspeed Rescue. Can you talk about the evil, then later good Power Rangers, though, through the seasons? A short review. Who was the best and had any was close to being the best as the original Evil Ranger? Please do it. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of requests for more Ranger content after opening that gate. Not sure if I can because I'm still watching Mighty Morphin. Yeah, I know, but it's like 300 episodes, guys. It's gonna be a while. He did appear in Ninja Steel, but only his voice was heard before Tommy was kidnapped. That makes sense. Like, Jason David Frank clearly did not live in New Zealand, so he awkwardly kind of disappeared and had his voice dubbing whoever was the stuntman in his Ranger armor. Alright. Also, Tommy also had the best romance with Kimberly, and then Kat came along. So, Kimberly and Tommy were definitely a fan favorite Ranger couple. I can see why. They were so cute and adorable. Kimberly basically brought out Tommy's good side, helped him see the light, basically helped him bond with others, chill, relax, open up more, and they were so wholesome together. Kimberly had like a cute little crush on Tommy, evolved into a full-blown romance, and then they broke up off screen with Kimberly leaving him a Dear John letter. Yeah, really, that's how Kimberly and Tommy's romance ends, and to this day, fans are still a wee bit upset. And then came Kat. Yeah, Kat became the new Pink Ranger after Kimberly left, and basically she was Tommy's rebound girl. That's at least how it felt in Mighty Morphin. I have still not watched Zeo, so I heard Kat got better, along with Rocky. They both got a lot more persona in Zeo, but I have not seen it yet, and I honestly won't fight with anyone that Kimberly and Tommy versus Tommy and Kat's romance, because they both had their moments. I've seen clips of the romance on the Power Rangers official, but still, it kind of hurt that they just brushed Kimberly off aside like that. Cammy Thompson, hi everyone. So in the second Dino Thunder and SPD crossover, Tommy was dubbed over by Trent's actor. Oh, he was? Oh, that sucks. About the idea of Power Rangers I mentioned, is the organization right in the decision in destroying worlds with life on them because of the stuff done by aliens in the past? Is the organization right? No, I don't think so. I think the organization is wrong. A lot of kids I went to elementary school with loved Tommy, including my older brothers. The reset button sounds like a good idea. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. It's like, just do like a whole new generation of Rangers. It's like, yeah, Mighty Morphin's a classic and nobody's gonna disrespect it, but starting over, just redoing all the Mighty Morphin characters, it did not work for the 2017 movie, and I do not have hope Disney Plus making it work either. But Tommy, he's gone on forever green. He also evolved as a character. He eventually became a Red Ranger, so that should tell you how good he grew over the course of the series. But this might honestly be our #1 Green Ranger. Man, today Death Battle have a Green Lantern, and now there's a Green Ranger tier list. Yeah, what luck. Titanium Ranger versus White Dino Ranger versus Zen Aku Wolf Power Ranger. Oh, that is a pretty big fight. I think Trent, or at least the White Dino Ranger spirit, might win. But Zen Aku is definitely no slouch either. Alright, so Tommy, he's our forever green. But next, he passed the powers on to Adam. Yep, Adam, played by Johnny Young Bosch, who became the Green Zeo Ranger. So Adam was at first a replacement for Zack. He was the Mighty Morphin Black Ranger, but then Zeo happened, and he upgraded to his colors to green. Yeah, by then, green was not special anymore, after Tommy became the White Ranger, but Adam from Zeo, I have not watched Zeo, but I will put him on forever green. Yeah, of course he is. It's Adam. I loved him as a Black Ranger, so I would not be surprised if he was made even more awesome as a Green Ranger. Alright, so Adam became the Green Zeo Ranger, and unfortunately the Green Turbo Ranger, which I did see, and oh boy, I do think he's a lot better than the guy who came after him, but Johnny Young Bosch is awesome. He's an actual martial artist. Adam is the shy guy who slowly opens up and starts bonding with the others, becoming a true friend among them, and as we know, Adam would become a great mentor towards Carlos in the Forever Black episode. Or I should say Back in Black, but yeah, basically we got to see how Adam grew as a veteran ranger, and Johnny Young Bosch is just plain awesome. He was definitely a worthy follow-up for the green color after Tommy Oliver became the leader. Adam was great wherever Black or Zeo Green. Yeah, Adam, he was awesome. I like Adam as Black Ranger more than Green Ranger. Oh, you do? Okay, that surprises me. Since I heard a lot of people love Zeo. They thought Zeo was an awesome show. I'm looking forward to watching it. I know the Machine Empire are the main villains of that. And yeah, it does sound pretty fun, especially because it's going to elevate the show, whereas Mighty Morphin was much more of a Monster of the Week series. Adam has his 2 little axes as his main weapons. Top 10 characters that can beat Homelander or Thanos. That could be fun, but I'll think about it. So, random fun fact about Tommy is that he is adopted. Also, in the Sentai, the Red and Green Rangers were brothers. Oh, that sounds pretty cool. Going green today, I see, and what a shock that Tommy's top tier. Yeah, don't worry, Shadow Link and fans. Tommy might already be our #1 because, I mean, it's Tommy Oliver and his first Ranger color, so it would be an insult if this guy isn't #1. But who knows? Maybe Xander might steal it from him. Xander, yeah, right. Zen Aku Wolf Ranger or the White Dino Ranger, who is best? Ooh, that is hard. Trent is badass, but I do have to go with the Wolf Ranger / Zen Aku, just because I do love that character a lot more. I like Adam as Black Ranger more than Green. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. A lot of people prefer him as the Black Ranger, which I kind of felt watching In Space because he doesn't have his green Zeo crystal anymore, but he still had the black power coin when he met Carlos. Definitely tells you that they preferred him as the Black Ranger. Oh boy, we all know where that green turbo will be at. Yeah. So in Adam's appearances in space, besides Carlos, no one else ever talks to him besides Andros, who didn't know him, giving him a pat on his shoulder. What season had you have left to watch? I have to watch Zeo. I'm halfway through Dino Thunder, and I do have to finish Mighty Morphin. Like, yeah, sorry guys, it's like 300 episodes. I am taking my time watching that because I will be overwhelmed watching it. And I have not watched any of the Nickelodeon shows after Megaforce. Yeah, I kind of stopped there. I don't have Netflix, so Cosmic Fury is pretty much off the table. Daigo of the Heavenly Phantom Star is Adam Park's Japanese counterpart, Gosei Sentai Dairanger. Alright, so, yeah, Adam's of course awesome. The Zordon era had a lot of great Rangers, and Adam is definitely a worthy successor to Tommy Oliver, but we know Johnny Young Bosch is cool, but Jason David Frank is plain awesome, so, yep, our second favorite Green Ranger. Unfortunately, after him came Carlos. Oh boy, Power Rangers Turbo Go. Yep, this is Carlos, the Green Turbo Ranger, and yes, Carlos is also the Black Space Ranger. So, I know Carlos got better on In Space, but unfortunately I'm judging him as a Green Ranger, and he's our first Green with Envy. Oh boy, Carlos was easily one of the worst replacement Rangers of them all. Turbo had to force the Mighty Morphin actors to give up the Ranger powers to a whole new group of characters to carry on the Turbo power for them because they were quote-unquote too old to be Rangers, which I still call bullcrap on, and Adam basically chose Carlos as his successor. And yeah, judging him in Turbo, Carlos was awful. Carlos was easily the worst of all the replacements because he was a immature, hot-headed jerk who acted more bratty and immature than the literal 12-year-old boy on their team. You ought to do a list of characters in Power Rangers who weren't human, that were either allies or rangers. Would anyone be excited for that? The Ranger allies? I don't think it would be as interesting to talk about. How you survived Turbo. Sorry, Carlos, you were good in Space, not in Turbo. Yeah, Carlos, basically, he was a jerk jock and a total idiot. He was very annoying, anger-prone, and super whiny. Like, it really says a lot that friggin' Justin was more mature and calm than this guy. Carlos was a jock soccer player, and because he helped civilians during the Divatox attack, this convinced Adam to pass the turbo powers onto him, and basically, Carlos gets into a lot of stupid plots in the series. The worst one I remember, Carlos became a vampire. Oh yeah, remember that classic, Count Carlos? Carlos became a vampire, went on a cringy spree, and yeah, it really says a lot that Count from Sesame Street was more scary than him. Divatox, the only villain to ever destroy the Power Rangers base. God, okay, give Divatox a gold sticker. Well, Dark Spectre felt indifferent. Naoki Daemon, Super Sentai counterpart in Kata Ranger, the better version of Carlos. Okay, so yeah. So, the Turbo Rangers did not have a lot to work with. Carlos did get redeemed in Space. He's still not one of my favorites, but he is miles better than how he was in Turbo. Carlos was basically the immature, angry guy, the jerk with a heart of gold, but was often the butt monkey, the butt of every joke. He always suffered some comedic mishap, and honestly looked like a complete tool next to Justin, because that's how bad he was. The Turbo replacements were not very good, and Carlos was easily the worst of them all. Back in Black was a great episode because it finally gave him character and redeemed him in the eyes of everyone who hated Turbo. Count Dacula, yeah. Yeah, the only episode I remember, Carlos turned into a vampire, and that one was also really stupid, so yeah, big surprise, a Turbo Ranger going in rock bottom. He got better in Space, but he is our first Green with Envy slot. But after Carlos came one of my favorites, Lost Galaxy's Damon. Alright, so then came Lost Galaxy, and we got Damon. I really want to put you higher, Damon, but we're gonna stick you on our first Emerald Knight. Okay, so tragically, Damon was the neglected ranger. There's always one in the core group of rangers, that one team member who didn't get enough focus, and unfortunately it was Damon. But Damon was not a bad character, he was just kind of underutilized and really fell under the shadow of the superior Galactic Rangers. So, Damon is the chief engineer on Terra Venture and working on the Astro Megaship, and honestly, I do kind of like him. He's funny. He started the trend of comic relief Green Rangers, and unlike Carlos, he was actually good at it. I meant a list of Power Rangers team members who weren't human, like Doggy Kruger, for example, allies included. Okay, you mean like all the robots, aliens, and mythological creatures? Yeah, that could work, but I'd have to see. Anyways, I do like Damon. Damon was a lot more simple of a character. Damon was a normal blue-collared guy who gets sucked into this high-stakes grand space adventure, and that's what made him very entertaining. Damon was a normal guy. He's a normal guy who does a normal job. He's very proud of his engineering work. He is basically the tech guy of the group, but also very laid back, very jokey, very much a friendly, nice guy, but not afraid to snark at his friends and make sarcastic quips, and that's what made him kind of likable. Damon always wears that green jumpsuit, just to remind you that he's the Green Ranger. So Damon's character arc is basically growing self-confidence, gaining a spine, and accepting his role as Ranger. Exactly like Leo, Damon is kind of questioning if he's worthy to be a Green Ranger. However, over time, he grows used to his powers, does a lot more heroics, and basically gains faith in himself that he can do it. I think the episode Green Courage basically showed that Damon had self-doubts, and he does a solo mission on his own where he saves the day. He's taken aboard Trakeena's ship and saves this councilwoman's life, and this gives Damon quite the confidence boost he needed, where he accepts his role as Green Ranger. Still is awesome that his actor is the husband of Trakeena's actress, though. Yeah, that is a pretty cute story. Reggie Rolfe, Damon's actor, actually hooked up with Amy Miller, Trakeena from Lost Galaxy, so he was pretty cool off the set for doing that if he managed to swoon the best villainess. Yeah, Damon and Trakeena's actors actually married in real life, which makes scenes where he's like falling for her and talking to Leo about how hot Trakeena was all the funnier. Count Carlos versus Count Vita, Mystic Force. Vita. Okay, catch up on comments. So, Damon also had the funny job of being the decoy. He was the bait in the traps, and I think this was kind of a take that towards the black guy always dies in horror stories cliche, because Damon's always the decoy, the villains always chase after him, try to kill him, but because he's a badass Power Ranger, he always survived, or barely escapes by the skin of his visor. Pretty cool. His best moment, I think, is where he lures Trakeena's giant scorpion ship into a trap where Leo plants a bomb on it, and they do take out Trakeena's Star Destroyer, so Damon gets a lot of huge props for that, but unfortunately, Damon does fall really flat next to his companions. The other Rangers had a lot more interesting character arcs than him, and that's why he's dropped down a level. Leo, Maya, Kai, and even Kendrix all had a lot more going for them than Damon did. Damon was just a guy who grew into the role of hero and slowly gained confidence in himself, but that's what made him kind of interesting, and most of the time he was a goofy comic relief. It was funny, he's like a total sassy bro for the Rangers, and I do like him, so I will put him on Emerald Knight. Also, he had the Green Condor. It is not a dragon, even though it looks like a dragon. Very awesome that Reggie Rolfe also managed to hook up with Amy Miller. Black Knightmon, hey, you made it. Hayate Super Sentai counterpart in Gigamon S. Okay. So Damon, Mike, and Emily are only returning Rangers in Megaforce to not get a single line. Yeah, Damon's there in the background. We actually see they got Danny Slavin back as Leo, but he didn't do much. I remember Carter Grayson and Wes Moore in the lineup. You should do best villains and monster designs. I might do best villains, but it's gonna be all the main villains for Rangers. Props to the design team. Give the design team some credit. I will. I actually did grow accustomed to the Charlie Brown Ranger uniforms. But Damon's an Emerald Knight for sure. He's cool and he's funny and very charming. His arc is the most simple, but that's what made him kind of endearing. Then next after Damon came Airboy Joel. Yep, Joel's on here. Joel the Sky Cowboy. So where do I want to put him? I know he is better than Damon by a long shot because out of all the Lightspeed Rescue Rangers, Joel surprisingly got the most character development. Joel is basically the immature, cocky flyboy. He's a jerk with the heart of gold. He's always womanizing with chicks, always joking around, trying to get in Miss Fairweather's pants, and slowly but surely matures and grows up. Yeah, the Green Ranger actually got the most character development out of all the core 5 Rangers, so that did kind of make me like him a lot more. Joel is an Air Force pilot slash like he's like a performer. He works at air shows. He like knows how to fly a lot of vehicles. He is definitely an Air Force trooper, but he's doing a lot of air shows, and he's recruited to be the Green Ranger because the green one gets like this flying Star Wars vehicle. He's driving in that green starship. I did have a toy of that from McDonald's. It was pretty cool. And Joel, basically, he has a huge crush on Miss Fairweather, and he's trying to hook up with her, but it's very clear she's not attracted to him at first because he's too much of a cocky douche. But over the course of the series, he matures, grows up, he tries to be the hero so Miss Fairweather would notice him, and it is actually a pretty cutesy and adorable romance. S tier? Okay, I could see that. Don't worry, he's not gonna dethrone Tommy, but we'll put Joel on Forever Green then. Yeah, he did have a lot of great moments. He's genuinely funny. Exactly like Damon, he is the comic relief ranger, kind of the immature one of the group, but the joke's always at his expense. Like every time he thinks he scored a date with Miss Fairweather, it turns out he got mixed signals and screwed up, and all the rangers laugh and tease him. I don't recall too many solo episodes featuring him, outside of where he thinks Miss Fairweather has a boyfriend, but it was really her brother all along. But Joel got to get that cool battleizer mode with the weird buzzsaw and save them from that burning car. Plus the fact that he got the girl in the end. Yeah, that definitely earned him some points, unlike Tommy, who lost Kimberly. Yeah, Joel actually did mature in the end. He helps pilot the submarine out, so that is pretty much huge points for him. He helps drive the submarine out of the sinking Aqua base. They're there in the finale, and at the end he finally wins Miss Fairweather's heart and proves that he's a good guy. And we do see in Time Force they are married now. They're on their honeymoon until, of course, Joel's called back for a terrible crossover. The boyfriend one was so painful. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I think the funny sequences where he's imagining Miss Fairweather flirting with him felt like something more out of American Pie rather than Power Rangers. Wait, why isn't Jake on this list? He's a Green Ranger. I think this is him down here. He's in between Trip and Cam. I think this is Jake. He's like wearing his black outfit still, though. Anyways, Joel, I did grow to like. He's pretty funny, he's charming, he's not above Adam or especially Tommy, but he's definitely a good Green Ranger. One of the most well-developed of the Lightspeed Rescue team, so that's where he wins major points, and he did eventually win the girl in the end, so clearly his character development did stick. We'll toss him on Forever Green, but he'll be at the tail end, and I'm sure we might meet some Greens that will outfly him. But yeah, Lightspeed Rescue's awesome, and of course, Joel being one of the funny guys earned him high points. Tommy, Evil Ranger, Sixth Ranger, Leader, Mentor, Legend, that escalated quickly. Yeah, Jake, I think this is Jake right here. 5, he became green in Super Megaforce. Yeah, that's true, he was black in Megaforce, and he's the only one who updates his color. So after Joel came Time Force's Trip. I hope Emily Alucard is watching because I agree. Trip is an awesome Green Ranger and he's going up on Forever Green. I might put him above Adam, honestly. I did like Time Force that much. This is Trip. He's the first alien Green Ranger. Trip is a half human, half alien from the year 3000, and he joins Jen's team to stop the evil Ranzik who traveled back in time to conquer the past in order to rule the future. And Trip is basically a fan favorite Green Ranger, and it's not hard to see why. He's kind of the kid of the group. He's a lot more plucky, optimistic, happy-go-lucky, kind of a kid at heart, but a pretty badass Green Ranger, not afraid to stand up for what's right. And I think you all know the episode which solidified his place here in S tier, the Trip Takes a Stand, you know, the anti-racist episode, which is still very much a timeless classic today. Our friendly alien teammate, S tier for Trip. I love his episode about helping a mutant whose crime is just stealing food and standing against the Quantum Ranger, Eric. Wasn't there an episode where he wanted to find love? Trip? I think there was. Hell yeah. Yep, Trip's up here. Jake, there's a simple explanation for that. Wait, who? The origins of the name Trip in universe are unknown. In America English, however, Trip may be shortening of triple, and in such cases is a nickname in reference to the number 3. Yeah, I kind of thought they called him Trip because it's short for some alien name. I hope the monster Trip help got a happy ending. They did. They re-imprisoned him and took him back to the future. Trip and the best friend of the protagonist, yeah. So, Trip and Katie are the only ones who are nice to Wes at first. Trip actually opens up to Wes the most because he kind of looks up to him. They're kind of friends. It's very clear Trip and Katie are much more friendlier than the more uptight Lucas and Jen. Lucas and Jen took a long time to warm up to Wes, but Katie and Trip are total friends of Wes, and pretty nice seeing them that they're early friends from the start. Trip is basically a nice guy. He's kind of a dork. He's a nerd. He loves being the tech guy. He invents new Ranger weapons for them. Trip also has a lot of self-confidence issues, and I think we can all agree it was much better than Damon because Trip is kind of the socially awkward one of the team. He doesn't fit in. There's that whole wacky comedy episode where he's trying to be like the other Rangers but failing at it. And it turns out, no, they love him for who he is. They're all friends and they love Trip because he's such a weird, eccentric oddball. But his fan favorite episode is, of course, the one where he defends the innocent mutant. One of Ranzik's mutants is actually a completely innocent child criminal who doesn't want to destroy things and be evil. Trip finds him and actually relates to him because he's also an alien/mutant hybrid, and they stand up to that racist cop, Eric. Eric wants to destroy the mutant because he believes it's evil, and Trip stands up to him, reveals that his own heritage is not human, and gives that very passionate speech about how you shouldn't judge others for being different. And that's why everyone loves him. Trip's alien power and the bird machine. Scion, Super Sentai counterpart, and Time Ranger. Yep, Trip's alien power. Since Green is safe from now, you forgot his powers. Yeah, talk about the alpha of this team. Yeah, Trip has low-key psychic powers. He has like this weird raven gem in his forehead, and it gives him like powers like Deanna Troi. He has empathy, he can mind read, he can see what people are thinking, and it does give him an advantage because he's kind of the empath of his team. These powers don't come up too often because I'm sure they were afraid they would break the plot. But Trip is actually pretty badass in his own right. There is a very heartwarming scene where all these kids are playing Power Rangers and then they all want to be the Green Ranger because Trip saved their life, proving to himself that he is a good hero after all. And Trip is basically there on the sidelines. He does a lot of comedies moments. He, of course, cares about Wes. He's basically more of an open book with his emotions, which made him very likable and adorable. I'm late, glad Joel got the woman of his dreams. If only Damon and Maya had that same kind of relationship. Well, Maya's wants to be with me, Cat. So is so he is Mob from Mob Psycho 100 of the team. Hey, Reboot Ranger, glad you made it. We're wrapping up Trip right now. So, of course, the show was more focused on Wes and Jen, so Trip sadly fell by the wayside. It's why he wasn't high up on my Time Force characters, but as a Green Ranger, he is definitely going on S tier. He, of course, shows up in the grand finale, backs up Wes, is a total bro to Wes, and they have that heartwarming goodbye, and he asks if he can keep his hat. Pretty funny stuff. And he's also friends with Circuit, always fixing him, because Trip is the tech genius. So he's going on Forever Green. He does outdo Adam for me because Trip had a whole lot more to do, but don't worry, Tommy Oliver's still number one. So, Time Force Green Ranger is definitely a forever green for being a timeless classic. Talk about Circuit with a robot owl. There wasn't much to talk about. He was just like the cutesy character who was best friends with Trip. I did like their dynamic because Circuit is also Trip's only friend at the start, and they do form a very cute dynamic. They're also bros because they relate over tech stuff. Yeah, I do recall Trip saved Circuit's life, too. Like, Circuit was breaking down and he managed to fix him because he was a true family member for them. Yeah, Trip will put on Forever Green. So, after Trip, we didn't have a Green Ranger again until Ninja Storm. Yeah, really, we finally got to Cam, the Green Samurai Ranger. Oh man, I have like a lot of Ninja Storm fans who keep showing up in my comments, and a lot of them get very angry at me because Ninja Storm is one of the shows I have grown to dislike over the years, but Cam, the Green Samurai Ranger, we will put onto Emerald Knight. Yeah, I might put him above Damon just because he got a lot more character development. This is Cam, the son of the Ninja Academy sensei, and at first the tech guy to the Ninja Storm Rangers, which kind of confusing because you're ninjas, how much tech do you need? So Cam is at first a spoiled, uptight brat who wanted to become a Power Ranger and is kind of jealous that these 3 failures of students managed to get the powers before him. Circuit, Alpha, or the police dog, who is the best? I think Alpha, just because Alpha did a lot more. Will you 1 point do a villains ranking video? I might, just knocking out all the Color Rangers first. So, I'm glad Operation Overdrive never had a Green Ranger. You and me both, Akira. Cam is very good. Also, I love Cameron since he is Akira's personality. Jason Chan is Cam's actor. Okay, so we're on Cam, the Green Samurai Ranger, and to Ninja Storm's credit, the Green Ranger in this is pretty awesome. Cam undergoes a story arc where he finds the legendary samurai armor and becomes a Power Ranger. He at first is denied the powers and he tries to basically earn them himself, which made him a lot more interesting than the core 3 Ninja Rangers. Cam kind of sits on the sidelines, serving as their oracle, telling them what to do, programming their tech, always kind of snarky and criticizing them, but Cam soon defrosts. He's like a defrosting ice king. He becomes nicer, gradually warms up to them, and becomes their friend, and eventually gets his Green Ranger armor. And the samurai armor, it is awesome. I do remember having a toy of this guy. It's pretty cool. He wears that gold vest. He has that helmet with 2 faces. He can turn around into an attack mode. He had the weird Zeo star on the front face, and a lot of awesome weaponry. Cam truly grew into his own and became a really badass 6th Ranger. Cam is actually pretty good. Not at first, since he was kind of a dick to the Rangers, but gets better over time and becomes a pretty great character. Yeah, that's why I'm putting him on Emerald Knight. He is kind of a dickhead at the start, but he slowly but surely got better. Like, even Tommy Oliver, he was kind of a dick too, but at least was likable and charming. Cam, kind of a bit stuck up, but he gets humbled, basically. He matures, he grows up, and he accepts being a ranger is a serious responsibility, which is when he finally earns his green wings, and yeah, the Green Ranger kicks ass. This is one of the best 6 rangers ever. I would put him up higher, but compared to all these other greens, he does kind of pale in comparison. I will put him on Emerald Knight, because Cam is pretty much a good character. He goes from a jerk to redeemed to a true ninja warrior like his friends. Jason Chan is the only actor to have worn the Shurikenger suit, to have had no prior acting roles in Power Rangers or Super Sentai. Oh, good for him. I used to watch Ninja Storm before I went to school back in the day. The disrespect will not stand. I still can't believe... Alright. He was born in Malaysia and moved to Perth with his family when he was only 5. Talk about the time traveler episode. Yeah, Cam goes back into the past to get this green armor, and to their credit, it does look like a old-fashioned feudal Japan type of movie. It's pretty fun. Ninja Storm did have good moments, though. I do still have problems with some of it, namely Lothor being one of the most obnoxiously unfunny villains, and the CGI for Sensei has not aged well. Yeah, his chest plate, once removed, is heavy. It's basically like a weighted vest, which I thought was pretty cool. It's kind of like Rock Lee. He was wearing like this heavy armor, and after he took it off, he moved faster than the Flash. So, in Sentai Cam counterpart had no human form. Oh, he didn't? Okay. I did not know that. I've not watched a lot of the Sentai shows. I've watched the American shows, alright? It was just easier. Tenkai Super Sentai counterpart in Hurrikanger, see comparison page. Also in the Sentai, the Green Ninja Ranger had a finishing move involving a baseball. Not as cool as the billiard balls of the Wolf Ranger. And he helped fight his evil uncle, and his evil cousins were even though we don't know whose parents are. Also, Cam's Super Sentai counterpart's voice actor died a couple years ago. Ah, that's a shame. Rest in peace. But, you know, I will put Cam on Emerald Knight. He was actually a character who grew on you and redeemed himself. Cam went from a very unlikable character into one of the fan favorites real quick, so he definitely deserves to be up here on Emerald Knight, but that's as far as I'm gonna put him. Sorry, Ninja Storm fans, but I'm still kind of indifferent on that show, but Cam was definitely a highlight, so he'll go on Emerald Knight. So, who came after Cam? That's right, I think it was Bridge. Yeah, we get to SBD. There was no Dino Green Ranger. So we're finally at SBD Emergency Bridge. Oh boy. So I have said it a lot of people, but Bridge is not one of my favorites. I know this guy has like a huge fan base, and apparently people claim that Bridge is the best SBD Ranger, which is BS. The Cat Ranger and Doggy Kruger were the S tier characters. Bridge, he's the plucky comic relief character. He's kind of the weirdo of the team. He's eccentric, odd, has a weird, absurd style to solving mysteries and being a cop. And he, like, meditates upside down. He does weird things. He memorizes people's body language, and he can sense people's emotions, kind of stuff like that. And Bridge, I just found him more annoying than funny. That was my big problem. He had some funny jokes here and there, but more often than not, I was just kind of like annoyed by him because it wasn't as funny as the show thought it was. Bridge going on to Beta Bridge. Yep, you probably saw that one coming, but what can I say? This guy is kind of mid to me. He's not one of the worst Rangers we've ever had, and he had a lot of character development in the time skips. In the Prime show, he really doesn't. He's kind of just the comic relief character until off-screen he got promoted to Blue, then became promoted to Red in Operation Overdrive. Was Bridge supposed to be neurodivergent? Yeah, I kind of got that feel from him. He was like supposed to be autistic or something, or had some neurological brain thing going on. I don't want to offend anyone, but yeah, apparently he had like some kind of weird thinking skill, which a lot of people didn't get. And If you like that, that's fine, but me, didn't really like him all that much. I found him kind of boring, honestly. I liked Jack, Sky had a lot of great character development, Z was awesome, and Doggy Kruger and Dr. Cat were my favorite characters, and Sid kind of just existed, and Bridge, I feel the same way, also kind of existed. He was there. He had like 2 episodes that actually focused on him. One I do like. They're trying to hunt down this wanted criminal disguised as a human, and he falls for this hot femme fatale looking girl, and he does use his weird eccentric detective skills to piece together that the hot chick is actually a aqua alien monster they're hunting down, and reveals that he figured it out, proving that he is a competent detective. The monster they were fighting all along was actually a bounty hunter trying to hunt the aqua alien down, and Trip puts it together that this girl is actually the true evil villain they're hunting, and uses his skills to best her, which did kind of impress me. I can definitely see that this guy is a good SPD officer through that. And his second episode, Bridge gets taken hostage, and he's put in like this weird jigsaw death trap room in the middle of nowhere, and through his eccentric skills, he listens to the noises around him to pinpoint his location and contact his fellow SPD officers, showing that he does have skills of his own. Diva Talks, Overdrive Villains, Evil Ooze, Org Lord, Mooney Tune Captain, Filler Villain in Lost in Space. See, worse than Lothor. Yeah, they're worse than Lothor. The Operation Overdrive Rangers are worse than Lothor. Shinichi Inari, Super Sentai counterpart in Deca Rangers. See comparison page. Also, Justin isn't the only kid become a ranger. Well, in Super Sentai Cow of the Howling Star and the first White Ranger who was a kid. Well, that's in the Sentai shows. He's the first American Power Ranger who was a kid. Hey, Bridge became the Red Ranger, so that at least counts for something. No, he became the Blue Ranger at the end. He got a promotion. Once Sky became the Red Ranger, Bridge became the new Blue Ranger. But if you ask me, it should have been Sid. But yeah, Bridge got promoted to Blue, then he became Red, and yes, Bridge comes back in the Once a Ranger crossover, which everyone loves, because it was the only good episode of Operation Overdrive. Bridge and Xander are 2 of the Greens who came back in that show, and I can understand people liking it. I was more excited to see Kira and Adam returning because I actually did like those characters in that. But Bridge got a promotion to Red Ranger, exactly like Tommy Oliver, but I don't know, I just didn't gravitate towards this character. That's really only my problem. Like, I don't hate him. I found him annoying at worst, but kind of just bland and boring at best. I didn't really attach myself to Bridge. I didn't get too much of a feel for him. His episodes were not bad. It did show you that he is a competent ranger, but just didn't have much personality I liked about him. Bridge is nice and has cool powers. Still can't believe Shane's actor died in 2018. Yeah, may he rest in peace. And he had the ancient ninja electric guitar. Don't remind me. Cat, there are worse villains than Lothor. Don't be so mean, give him a break. Yeah, I agree, James. There are worse villains than Lothor. Diva Talks is definitely on my high list of worst. Do you consider him a ninja or a samurai? Cam, I think he counts more as a samurai. I will say samurai. Samurai Ranger. Bridge is nice. He has cool powers. Yeah, I know a lot of people like Bridge. It's the Butterfinger moments. Sorry, I just catch up on some comments. So the reason why they got Bridge in Operation Overdrive is because Sky's and Jack's actor were unavailable. Yeah, that did kind of strike me, that Sky never came back even though he was the Red Ranger. Apparently, they got a random assortment of the New Zealand Rangers. For Once a Ranger, they got Adam. Nice to see Johnny Young Bosch come back. They also got Bridge, They got Xander from Mystic Force, who I didn't really care for. They got Tori, who I know everybody loved because Tori was hot. And they got Kira from Dino Thunder, who I liked. I know she was hot too, but she was also a much more well-rounded character. Yeah, they had Tori, Kira, Xander, Bridge, and Adam all returned in Once a Ranger, while the Operation Overdrive Rangers sort of pieced out and buggered off, which only made you hate them more. Daishi, also the worst. You mean live action Snow and Heat Miser? Do you think Tommy should have been in Once a Ranger instead of Adam? That would have been nice, but I was kind of glad to see Johnny Young Bosch come back. I can definitely see that they wanted Jason David Frank, but they did not get at all a bad replacement for him. Yeah, Tommy would have been nice to see in Once a Ranger. Next is Xander. Yep. Okay, so wrapping up Bridge. He's okay. We'll put him right smack in the middle. Beta Bridge. Appropriately, I named it after him because I just feel he was a mid-green. But speaking of mid-green, we're coming up on Xander. Yeah, I think this is him. Xander from Mystic Force. Here come the Power Rangers. Here come the Power Rangers. Here come the Power Rangers Mystic Force. This is Xander, who apparently was the only Ranger people actually liked on the Mystic team, but me, I did not grow at all attached to them, so also going on Beta Bridge. I will put him, I might put him next to Bridge at least, because I felt kind of indifferent about him. This is, I believe, Xander, and he wasn't all that interesting. Emperor Grum was worst. I liked Grum fighting Doggy Kruger, though. Did anybody else know that 2 different actresses played Divatox? How am I just now finding this out? Yeah, Hillary Shepard was pregnant, so they got a replacement for her, and then Shepard came back once the pregnancy thing was done. He is Hulk of Mystic Force. Yeah, getting to that. Just about every villain in Megaforce and Overdrive would go into worst villain category. Yeah, have we ever had a good Power Rangers villain after Venjix? I don't think we ever had. Some people will defend the movie's Rita Repulsa, but the less talked about her, the better. Alright, finally on Xander from Mystic Force. So, Xander had some fans because he was actually an interesting character. Xander was basically the arrogant one. He was the jerk with a heart of gold of the Green Rangers team. He was pretty much egotistical to the point where he thought he could actually charm and talk to the monsters of the week out of being evil and stopping their crimes, and spoilers, they didn't. Basically, Xander had to be humbled. He had to eat his humble pie, come back down to earth, realize he wasn't all that hot even if he was a Power Ranger, and Xander grew nicer over the course of the series. So Xander, I think, was fine. Apparently a lot of people liked him, and he did come back in Once a Ranger in the crossover event, so clearly there were people who liked him and were excited to see him return, but I don't know, I didn't really get too attached to him either. Well, Sledge Nad Heckley from Dino Charge was pretty good. Yeah, I have not seen Dino Charge. I've heard of that. He's the best of the 5 Mystic Force, but that's not really saying much. Team as a whole is meh. Yeah, I felt that way. Mystic Force was generic. It's basic Power Rangers. There are interesting things, but it is another show held up by the villains. Optimus the Master and his inner villain circle were far more compelling than the Rangers themselves, and Xander kind of fared better than most because he actually had a character arc. The Mystic Force Rangers, they're all bland and forgettable. Mystic Force is not all that hot a show, and he looked good by comparison because he actually had stuff going for him. He's the Mystic Force Green, and I believe he's also a bull. I remember he had that horned outfit. It looked pretty ridiculous, honestly, but I'm going to be putting him on Beta Bridge. He was fine, nothing super special, but I do not see this guy as an all-time top 10 Power Ranger. Heckle was good. Evil Ooze. Evil boring. Ooh, got him. Didn't he have a New Zealand accent? I think he did. Like, most of the actors had their New Zealand accents shining through. He's like Steven Universe mixed with Ivan from Miraculous. Yeah, so he's an emotionally unstable fat guy. Sledge and Heckle slash Snide from Dino Charge were pretty good villains. Not Lord Archeron, though he sucked. Makito, Uzu, Xander's Super Sentai counterpart in Magia Ranger. So the next one is that old guy. Yeah, we're getting to Fant from Jungle Fury. Still haven't watched Jungle Fury, so I don't have any opinion. This is Fant, the Green Spirit Ranger from Jungle Fury. I have not watched the show, so I don't have any opinion. I know he's one of the Spirit Rangers, along with a black and blue Spirit Ranger. He's pretty much the elephant, hence why he's called Fant. He's Elfant. Get it? Get it? He's Elfant, the Elephant Ranger. Yeah, putting him in a question mark. I have not seen Jungle Fury. I'm sorry, but it doesn't really interest me that much. I've heard some people like it, but I haven't been in a huge rush to watch it. Xander's actor is Australian. Okay, I do. Can you search up the Spirit Rangers? Next up is Ziggy. Alright, Ziggy. So, Power Rangers RPM, get in gear. We have Ziggy, who's another fan favorite Green Ranger. So, I'll admit I was a bit hard on Ziggy and RPM, but Ziggy I might actually put onto Emerald Knight. We'll put him below Damon because I can at least tolerate Damon. Yep, Ziggy's getting a higher role because we're judging him based on him being a Green Ranger, and Ziggy underwent a lot of character development and slowly but surely grew up into a true Power Ranger as the show went on. The final Green Ranger of the Disney era, yep. I really liked Ziggy's friendship with Dylan. Yeah, me too, that was actually nice. You need to watch Jungle Fury. The Spirit Rangers were actually RPOG. I really like Ziggy's friendship with Dylan. Me too. So, fun fact, Ziggy and Dr. K's actor did get married in real life, but then stuff happened and then they divorced. Yeah, Ziggy had a romance with Dr. K, and hilariously, the actors actually were dating off the camera. Yeah, Ziggy's actor and Dr. K actually got married in real life. Tragically, they're divorced now, but hey, that happens. I did find their relationship very cute in the Power Rangers universe, though. Also, R.I.P. Master Fant's actor, Bruce Alpress. Yeah, may he rest in peace. Master Elahun Campau and Super Sentai counterpart Geki Ranger. Odana and his husband defeat the villains, not the Power Rangers team. Yeah, that did kind of suck. Also, Dr. K did come back in Beast Morphers. Yeah, everybody told me that. Dr. K returns, and hilariously, it's in the same season where Evox is revealed to be Vengix, which kind of made me question exactly what the time period was, because RPM is supposed to be in the distant future where we lost all of human life to machines, but yeah. Alright, so anyways, Ziggy. Ziggy is at first a delinquent. He's this doofy con man slash ex-mafioso. He's basically a troublemaker. Ziggy's always getting into trouble, always getting into shenanigans. He owes the mob a huge amount of money. Ziggy is basically the troubled ranger on the team. He's at first running away in the wasteland of the apocalypse, where he befriends Dylan. Dylan, the future RPM Black Ranger. Dylan picks him up hitchhiking, and Ziggy's so pathetic at the start. Basically, he screws up all the time. He's a doofus. He's a bigger failure on par with an Adam Sandler comedy. And it was kind of why I didn't gravitate towards him at first, because Ziggy is basically a goofy loser. He's our comic relief ranger. He accidentally gets the green morpher on him. Ziggy is trusted with transporting the green morpher and finding a new recruit to be a new RPM ranger, to become the Green Ranger. This is also the episode where Tenaya 7 debuts. Tenaya 7 infiltrates Corinth and tries to hijack the Green Morpher, and Through a lot of wacky mishaps and Tenaya 7 trying to kill Ziggy, Ziggy ends up with the green morpher on him, and it is DNA locked. It bonds with him, and Ziggy becomes the Green Ranger by complete accident and kind of stumbles and fumbles his way into being an ultimate hero. Ziggy beats Tenaya 7 and basically has to undergo the most training and most character development to become a worthy ranger. And I know a lot of people like Ziggy, and not gonna lie, I did find some of his wacky antics to be a bit cringy and very dumb. I did not laugh a ton at him. Special mention going to teleporting and ending up in Dr. K's room in his underwear. Pretty weird scene. Ziggy and Dylan are a good team. Yeah, I do like their friendship. They do bond. Ziggy and Dylan are like total bros. They are at first kind of reluctant to be friends with one another, but they gain the other's respect. Dylan is a good guy deep down, and Ziggy does show he is smarter than he looks. He does have talents, but he just can't catch a break. I think Ziggy's actor was in Deathgasm horror movie. RPM is in a different dimension. It is? Okay. Also, yeah, Dr. K did come back in Beast Morphers. I do know that. In a way, Ziggy did a lot of good things from the start of the series, got Dylan as the Black Ranger, saved the Green Ranger's powers from Tenaya 7, etc. I did grow to like Ziggy for his origin episode. So at the start of RPM, the Rangers got like solo origin episodes, and we finally got to learn more about Ziggy. Ziggy was a part of the mob. However, they're basically stealing and selling hospital supplies on the black market, and Ziggy meets this orphanage and they don't have enough supplies, and Ziggy backstabs his boss and steals from the mob. He steals the hospital supplies they were supposed to sell on the black market and donates them to this orphanage, showing that Ziggy is a good guy deep down. And this was the first time I actually grew to like him and respect him because, yeah, he had a pretty nice moment and a very deep origin. Despite his flaws, his goofiness, and selfishness, Ziggy does have a heart deep down. He gave away these supplies and stole from his boss and basically had to flee the city of Corinth, and this is what led to him meeting Dylan on the open road. Ziggy actually saved these dying orphans from their radiation, and eventually he stumbles his way into being the Green Ranger, and throughout the series, he basically has a romance arc with Dr. K. He is a total doofus who annoys Dr. K, and as you can guess, they go from hating each other to loving each other. Yeah, we're doing that cliche. Ziggy is an annoying doofus, but he has a kind heart, and for some reason, Dr. K grows attached to him. Dr. K is a defrosting ice queen. She really starts to like Ziggy and talks to Summer about all the cute guys, and it's implied Ziggy is definitely among them. Pretty funny stuff. I think it explains that it's an alternate universe concept. Okay, so a lot of people tell me RPM is an alternate timeline or something, but that kind of confused me because all the Rangers still exist in the same universe. Ziggy. The name Ziggy is an informal nickname for Zygmunt, a Polish variant of the German name Sigmund. Sigmund means victorious hand, which suggests a sense of bravery and triumph. Ziggy and Dylan are a good team. Yeah, I do agree. RPM and Dino Charge don't take place in the main Power Rangers universe. Okay, they don't. I like Ziggy. Hant Joe, Ziggy's Super Sentai counterpart in Go-Onger. Who is in the bottom tier? Carlos. He's the only one I hate so far. We do have others coming up. Carlos is our first bad Green Ranger, and this is Fant, the Green Spirit Ranger from Jungle Fury. I just don't recognize him. Sorry, I haven't watched him yet. RPM, a wacky comedy with fourth wall humor. That would have ruined the show, honestly. I thought RPM was actually a good, serious Power Rangers show. Yeah, there were lighthearted moments and funny scenes, but overall, Venjix was not played for laughs. So, in the Sentai, Tenaya 7 counterpart actually had a crush on Ziggy's counterpart. Oh, that's actually kind of hilarious. Tenaya 7 and Ziggy hooking up. I would have loved to see Dylan react to that. The origins for the Rangers are great. Fully agree. The RPM Origins episodes are awesome, and it's the first time I actually grew to care about Ziggy. Ziggy basically masters his skills to teleport. That's his special power. The Green Ranger can teleport. At one point, he accidentally teleports himself and Dr. K in this underground cavern, and he has to focus in order to teleport them, but the sad news is this is a clip show episode, which I really hate. I believe I speak for all my Ranger fans that the worst episodes of Power Rangers are now the clip show episodes. I know it was back in the day before we had the internet reruns and, DVDs, Blu-rays, and all the episodes available to us, but I'm really sick of the Power Ranger clip show episodes. And unfortunately, you can't skip this one because it's what pretty much solidified Dr. K having a crush on Ziggy because he masters the power and saves them both. From his screw up in the first place, but yeah. But lastly, we can't finish yet because we gotta talk about Ziggy's greatest moment, coming back and saving Dr. K. After Venjix takes over the dumb city of Corinth, Ziggy actually goes back to rescue Dr. K. He does fail, they get captured, but the two instantly work together to escape General Kilobyte and Tenaya 7, and it's here where they finally confess their feelings for one another. Yep, Ziggy and Dr. K were the true prime couple of the show, and they confess their feelings, they hook up, and they save the day. After Venjix is killed, supposedly, they drop the tower on him. Ziggy and Dr. K become an official couple at the end, and he opens up his own orphanage, and Dr. K is going to be working there too, apparently, carrying on her science work, but they're an official couple now, and Ziggy is caring for kids, and they're officially dating, becoming a couple, rebuilding Corinth, and caring for kids for a brighter future. Then eventually Dr. K will leave him to show up on Beast Morphers. Rocky, Jason, Tommy, who is the best debate? Might have to go with Tommy. He's still awesome. Jason is a pretty good Red Ranger, so he outclasses Tommy there. At Carlos, the origins for the Rangers are great. Read that one. Yeah, they are great. RPM and Dino Charge take place in the multiverse. It's explained in Ninja Steel Dimensions and Dangers. Okay, that explains why I don't know of that. Yes, RPM is in another dimension, same as Dino Charge, it's canon. Oh joy, Power Rangers had the multiverse. The RPM and Dino Charge are able to cross into the main Power Rangers dimensions. That kind of complicates things to me. I'm so sick of multiverses. And no, the Power Rangers doesn't get a free pass for doing it because Marvel did. Still no Lego Power Rangers. We almost got it, but Lego's strict since we have Ninjago. Yeah, that is pretty stupid. All the toys of Lego Power Rangers would sell like hotcakes. But to wrap up, Ziggy's going into Emerald Knight. I did grow to like him, and his romance with Dr. K is definitely great. I love that he's the one that always calls it spandex and pissing her off, and Ziggy definitely grew into his own and earned his green armor for sure, but not one of my all-time favorite Rangers still, so we'll put him on Emerald Knight, which is basically the A tier. Putting him right behind Damon, though, because I still like Damon. So I headcanon that Ziggy's girl with Tenaya after Dr. K left him. Tenaya 7 is a perfect 10. I have no problem with multiverses. I know you don't, Moonwing, but I do because they have 20 stories worth of potential. Mike is Samurai Green and the Nickelodeon era. Yeah, okay. So after Ziggy, he's an Emerald Knight. We'll put him high up because he is a million times better than the characters we're about to get to. So next is Mike. Mike from Samurai, who will be our first light green. Okay, Mike is boring. That's it. Mike is boring. He likes video games, has a crush on one of the Rangers. I believe he has a crush on, was it Emily? Yeah, I think it was Emily. Yeah, Jake had the crush on Gia, but Mike is just boring. He's a severely underdeveloped character. He is the neglected Ranger of Samurai. Samurai is not at all a good show, and Mike, unfortunately, just was kind of a flat character. There was not much to him, not too many episodes focused on him, and you really don't remember him. He is like easily a bottom tier Green Ranger for a lot of people, and I can see why. He didn't do anything. July 26, 2024, David shoved an elderly man down in a parking spot in Idaho where David is visibly seen parked in a handicapped area. What the hell? Oh, so Mike's actor actually got arrested for assault. Oh, okay. I did not know that. I don't keep up with the samurai actors. Hector David Jr. is Mike's actor. Yeah, we're on Mike now. Why multiverse only work in comics only, not movies, not video games, not television? Well, it works as kind of like a one-off type of deal. It does not work for like a grand story arc. Like, look at Crisis on Infinite Earths, the movie, for example. Romance? What romance? Mike and Emily never build up their romance in Samurai. It comes out of nowhere. Yeah, that also held him back. Okay, so Mike is bland, he's boring, he's dull, and he's easily the most forgettable of the Rangers. The only nice thing I have to say about him is that I didn't really hate him. Mike is just kind of there, so we'll put him on light green. He is a total lightweight of a main character. I can't wait to ranking all the Mentor characters. Oh boy, Mentor Jai, or Master G. Yeah, Mentor G. I unfortunately do know of the controversy surrounding him. Mentor G was a bad character, if you're curious, and he was pretty much a terrible mentor, always showing favoritism towards the others, but his actor being a sexual predator did not make him likable, so all the more reasons not to watch Samurai. Well, Multiverse and Power Rangers is better than Miraculous, and I am talking to you, Paraspecial. Most multiverses, such as the Arrowverse Crisis on Infinite Earths, just use nostalgia bait. Yeah, that's kind of why I don't like multiverse storytelling. So, Mike is a light green, our first boring Green Ranger. And unfortunately, things did not improve when we got Jake. Yep, Jake right here, going on to Green with Envy. He sucked as a Black Ranger, so no shock, he sucked as a Green Ranger. It is kind of funny that out of all the Mega Force Rangers, Jake was the only one who updated his color. He went from being the Black Ranger to green. Yes, sorry, he is wearing his black coat in this picture, but who cares? It's Mega Force. Are any of you gonna complain? Jake is, once again, not very likable. He's kind of the dumb jock of the team. He has this very awkward relationship with Gia, and they hook up at the end of Super Mega Force, and pretty much everything I said about him on the Black Ranger tier list holds up here. Too bad he didn't update his character. Hey yo! Yeah, burn, Shadow Link. Hey, Cool Show. Why did he go from a Black Ranger to a Green Ranger? There's a simple explanation for that. Because of the Sentai footage. Hey, Cat. Cool Show made it. Megaforce was lame. No, Moonwing. Megaforce was trash. Also, his power is wood and have a bull Megazord. That's so dumb. Yeah, so big shock, my feelings on Jake have not changed. He is going on Green with Envy, and he is going below Carlos because, as we know, Carlos got better, Jake did not. And no, I do not buy his romance with Gia where they randomly hooked up in the end. Speaking of, we should also bump off Riley from Dino Charge. I'm sorry, I still have not seen Dino Charge, so Riley will be going in the question mark next to Fant from Jungle Fury. Yeah, this is Riley from Dino Charge. I have not watched the show, so I can't really elaborate my feelings on him if I don't know the character that well. I'm kind of glad we finally got a Green Ranger again after Megaforce botched it, but yeah. The legendary battle was so meh. Fully agree. Same as Dino Fury, right? What's worse, Once a Ranger or Legendary Battle? Oh, Legendary Battle, because we got all these classic Rangers basically fighting expendable foot soldiers. That was just lame. Once a Ranger, it had its bad moments, but it was cool seeing most of these characters come back. Don Duguer Don Duguer, Jake Super, Sentai Counterpart, and Gokai Ranger. Okay. I'm currently watching the Sentai of Dino Charge. Is it good, Moonwing? Let me know. So Riley is cool since he is a beast, since he is smart. So according to Riley's actor, he's apparently gay and has a crush on Chase. Wow, that is kind of weird, but I haven't watched Dino Charge, so no opinion on Riley. Sorry, he's going down here. And unfortunately, getting our last don't know, Izzy Garcia from Cosmic Fury. I do not have Netflix, so I have not seen Cosmic Fury. This is Izzy Garcia. What I do know is she's the first female Green Ranger and the first openly lesbian Ranger. Yeah, apparently she's in there for LGBT points and has a romance with the Orange Ranger, so I heard, but don't know much about her beyond that. Apparently they're already attaching them, like, the LGBT are already attaching themselves to this character as, like, a gay icon. Yeah, we have a girl Green Ranger, but I have not seen Cosmic Fury, mostly because I don't own Netflix, and a lot of people tell me Cosmic Fury just plain wasn't good. Riley was fine, had his moments, but I preferred other Dino Rangers and characters. Okay, Shadowlink, so not missing much there. Michael Tabor's his actor. Why do you say Gia in such a weird way? Oh, sorry, I'm just reading off my script. Is it Gia? I'm on, like, episode 12, and it is decent. Okay, a lot of people tell me I should check out Dino Charge. People say it's actually good, so I am kind of curious to check it out, but still haven't watched it yet. I'm watching Mighty Morphin and Dino Thunder currently. Izzy's the first canon LGBT Ranger. Yeah, because a lot of people pretend Kelsey is gay, but she clearly crushes on dudes. Can you tell us if you can assemble a team, whatever Ranger you want from all the teams ever existed? What would the team be? That might be hard. I'd have to think about it if I'm going to get specific colors. Yeah, that's a wolf passing by. On the website called Tokuzilla, Izzy is Julika of Dino Fury, which my sister hates since she's in love with Fern the Orange Ranger. Yeah, Fern is, I heard, much better. Let me tell you something about her. In one episode, she revealed that when she was young, her mother made her model dresses, and she hated wearing dresses in one episode. To be continued. That sounds stupid. Velociraptor Green Ranger is Riley's outfit. Okay, they brought Velociraptors finally into the mix. A video of building a team and mentor. Okay, then I might do that. Zordon would definitely be the mentor, but I'd also be open to Doggy Kruger. So in the Sentai version of Dino Charge, the actor who played the Cyan Ranger died last year in December and in the days after Christmas. So there's a Squad Green, the A Squad Green, Psycho Green, and who's the other one? Oh, we'll get to that one soon. Do you two live together? Yeah, Wolf lives with me. Wolf's my brother. Super Sentai Counterpart and Kyle Ranger. When she and her girlfriend was getting ready for the prom, Izzy's mom promised to make her and Fern something, and at first she thought her mom made her a dress, even though she hated it. To be continued. What animal would you like to be in a mecha? I like shark Megazords. Those are cool. Anyways, A Squad Green. Also, going into light green. Okay, so I really like the twist that the A Squad were secretly villains. This is the green A Squad Ranger, but unfortunately ends up in light green because they're very light on character. So if you don't remember, SPD, Kruger sent out the A-Squad to kill Emperor Grum, but they mysteriously disappeared, only to come back years later, where it's revealed they turned traitor. They joined forces with Emperor Grum and sold out humanity, becoming bad guys, and it is pretty cool seeing dirty cop rangers, which is a fun idea, but the Green Ranger, unfortunately, not too many lines, not too much screen time, not much to do. Basically, Charlie was the one who spoke for the A Squad. Charlie got more character. The green guy was kind of there, and he's basically another thug. He does have that cool space armor. I think this is like the only time we've seen green Space Ranger armor, so definitely points for that, but once again, evil thug, the A-Squad turned traitor, and it would have been nice to see them fleshed out more, since the twist is pretty cool, but not too much going on for him. He turns traitor, they fight the B-Squad, and the B-Squad defeat them, proving that they are better than the Pro Rangers. A-Squad was a good twist. I agree, Nate Leeper, but unfortunately this is a character ranking, and he does have to go down a slot, mostly due to his light character. Tessa Rao is Izzy's actor. Okay. I meant what animal would you like to see as a mecha? Oh, okay. Let's see. Have they done a Tasmanian Devil one yet? I would like to see that. A Tasmanian Devil Megazord. So the Sentai version of the Dino Fury Green was a dude. Ah, one of those shows. Yeah, Maya was also a guy in the Japanese version of their Ranger show. So in the Sentai version of... Yeah, I read that one. So Izzy looks like and sounds like Julika, since she acts like Julika. Oh, she's the shy, weird goth girl. I did not know that. So in the Sentai, there have been a total of 3 female Green Rangers. Yeah, in America, we finally got our first one. So interesting, Katie from Time Force was supposed to be the first female Green Ranger, but she was too tall, so they ended up swapping her and Trip. Trip was going to be the first male Yellow Ranger, and Katie was supposed to be the first female Green Ranger, but because of their height difference in the Sentai footage, they had to swap roles. But it turns out that Izzy's mom made her a suit and tux, and the dress was for Fern, and she realized that her mom listened and didn't make her the dress. Still sounds stupid. I still can't get over that A-Squad became evil with no mind controller clones. Yeah, pretty awesome twist. We don't even get the A-Squad names except for Charlie. Yeah, more reason to put him on light green. Green A-Squad was actually repainted space helmet. Yeah, I can tell. I recognize the in-space uniforms. What evil group of villains were more efficient and developed? I think Trakina's villain squad is pretty good, but Astronema and the Ultimate Alliance of Evil are all S-tier villains, except for Divatox. The Alien Ranger did the first male Yellow Ranger. Yeah, they did. Alright. So yeah, that's it. Light green. So next, we'll do Tommy Oliver. Yes, this is Tommy Oliver's cameo in the 2017 Power Rangers reboot. Yeah, don't you guys remember? The sequel bait for 2017's Power Rangers was Tommy Oliver. Yeah, this is his 5-second cameo in the end of the movie, and yes, it's going in green with envy because we never actually see Tommy Oliver. Yeah, you guys, I actually got Tommy Oliver's picture of him missing from his desk, or her desk. So if you don't know, at the end of the 2017 movie, there's a post-credit scene where they're calling Tommy Oliver's name in the office, and his desk is abandoned, but you get a close-up shot of his green sweater, which has the dragon on it, because he was the Dragon Power Ranger. And Tommy is used as sequel bait. Wow, so that's what that is? Yeah. So it's... Bro, put a chair for the 2017 Power Rangers? Yes, I did. Yeah, we got Psycho Green down here too. So, yeah, at the end of the movie, Tommy Oliver is used for sequel bait, and apparently, according to interviews with the actors and cast, they were actually pitching the idea that Tommy Oliver could be a girl in this universe. And I think that's pretty stupid. They actually thought about gender swapping Tommy Oliver as a female Green Ranger. And first of all, who the hell names their daughter Tommy? That's pretty dumb. And yeah, it kind of left it out in the open who was gonna play Tommy Oliver in that future sequel, but it never happened because the first movie was so terrible. Yeah, I actually got a picture of a chair here for you guys. Tommy Oliver in the reboot movie, so lame, he didn't even appear. Or she didn't even appear. Yeah, going on rock bottom just to have more F tiers. Yes, this is gonna set up the Ranger cinematic universe. Thomas Kiwi is Green A-Squad Ranger actor. Okay. So the Green Psycho was a human named Trek who was the 6th Ranger for his team called the Supersonic Rangers, who were based off of the 5-man in Sentai. Bro put a chair. Yep, I did. The couple of years later, Zordon sent the Mighty Morphin Rangers to the moon. Not the Mighty Morphin Rangers we know, but a different team. Yep, we're on our last one. I heard in the UK some boys have girls in Maine like Marion, Ashley, and even Edith. But Tommy... Alright, let's finish this on a high note. Psycho Green, the Green Psycho Ranger, who, yep, going into S tier. Yeah, believe it or not, there was a Green Psycho Ranger. I know, I'm kind of shocked too. So, I recently discovered this character existed. This is Psycho Green from a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic series. In a alternate Rangers universe, Psycho Green is actually an evil counterpart of Tommy Oliver. He's this evil alien named Trek who betrayed the Power Rangers and murdered Zordon and became the Green Psycho Ranger. And like all the other Psycho Rangers, he is a cool, heinous bad guy. Really love him. Out of all the Psycho Rangers, this guy got a ton of character. Maybe it was gonna be spelt Tommy with an I instead of Tommy. So what's the lore behind the Chair Rangers? They don't show up. This Tommy was so lame he didn't even appear in the movie. Or she. He should be between Tommy and Trip. Really? You want him that high? I thought Adam was pretty cool too, though. That's kind of why I held him back. Yeah, this is Trek. He is Tommy from an alternate universe where Tommy went evil and murdered Zordon, absorbing all the power, which transformed him into the Green Psycho Ranger. Basically a mirror universe where the Power Rangers became evil, and he became Psycho Green, and he teamed up with the Prime Psycho Rangers at one point in the comics. They actually tease his romance, where Psycho Green fell in love with Psycho Pink, but was actually using her. Basically as a dark reflection of Tommy's romance with the two Pink Rangers. You know, Kat and Kimberly. That was Lord Draken, not Trek. Okay, so I haven't read that comic, alright? He should be between Tommy and Trip, so I wish he had a voice actor, but no, only mentioned. So technically, Psycho Green does not appear in the Rangers shows, but he did debut in the video game, The Power Rangers Legacy Wars. I know he is a playable character in there, because I saw, like, all the footage of him there. Psycho Green, very terrifying, heinous bad guy. His motivation is he's greedy. He is green with envy. He wants all the power for himself. Psycho Green is the selfish one of the Psycho Rangers, to the point of being a psychotic backstabber who doesn't trust his psychotic teammates. Yeah, basically he's so extreme that the other Psycho Rangers are wary of him. They don't trust him. They think their 6th Ranger will stab them in the back. Trek showed up before Tommy was even born. I thought you're getting Trek's backstory mixed up with Lord Draken. I might be. I know the Psycho Green also killed Zordon. I did see images of that. Psycho Green did also murder Zordon. Like, I saw him, like, turn into his monster form. Spoilers, I don't have a picture of it, but Psycho Green is a energy being, and he got that from murdering Zordon. I have, like, pictures of him where he shattered the chamber and absorbed Zordon into himself, where Psycho Green turns into, like, this glowing green demon. He looks like a green version of the 10,000 volt ghost. In which color you prefer Tommy? Green, red, white, or black? Well, I'm afraid I have to go with black because I was introduced to Tommy through Dino Thunder. So I do like Tommy in black, but yeah, I can see why green is his iconic suit. Yeah, sorry, I might be getting Lord Draken and Trek's backstories mixed up. I do know Psycho Green also murdered Zordon. There's, like, images of him. He shattered the power chamber, and he turns into, like, a green energy being because The Green Psycho's monster form, green version of the 10,000 volt ghost. He's like this living energy electric man and has like these creepy spikes and horns on his head. Pretty cool stuff, honestly. Psycho Green is a pretty kick-ass villain. I read like only a few of the comics, so I do not know his full story, but I've seen him on Legacy Wars too. He is a playable character, along with all the other cool Ranger characters. Trek managed to murder 3 Rangers on the moon. Yep, just to show you how dangerous he is. So, the Parallax of the Power Rangers. Kind of, because he is crazy with power. I think he just damaged Zordon. He did? Okay. I might be wrong. It's been a while since I read it, though, not gonna lie. Some people might choose it as a nickname or a short name of a more feminine name, like Thomasina. Still a weird name. There's also female names like Tommy and Tommy, because I found female Tommy's names. Okay, but I still think gender swapping Tommy Oliver would be a stupid choice. But yeah, like with all the other Psycho Rangers, Psycho Green's going high up. Some people are actually telling me I should put him above Trip. Okay, I might put him above Adam then, if that's the case, but no, I love Trip. He is a classic Green Ranger, so sorry, Trip got more screen time. But Psycho Green, like with all the Psycho Rangers, he's awesome. He's faster, smarter, stronger, but evil. Psycho Green, really wish he gets his film debut soon. If any of my Ranger fans out there make fan films, highly recommend making one about this guy, because he is a pretty scary villain, all things considered, and pushed the boundaries that even the Psycho Rangers wouldn't cross. So he's definitely going up on Forever Green. So he only died when the Blue Ranger sacrificed himself by blowing up his insides. Oh man, that is hardcore. Which Blue Ranger was it? Was it Rocky or Billy or some completely different guy? Just realized that there was an evil Tommy clone that was made from Tommy's ponytail. I guess that explains why he doesn't have it in Dino Thunder. Also, it is done for Green Rangers, and finally, our last color will be blue. You know, unless we do the 6 Rangers, but I have to find a tier list for that. But yeah, that completes our tier list. We talked about them all the iconic Green Rangers plus extra. I included even Psycho Green and a chair. It's Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger. What, not Billy? But Billy was the Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger. Have you seen the Power Rangers short film? No, I have not. I've been trying to find the In Space fan film, where apparently they got half the In Space cast to come back. Will you include all 3 blue Dino Charge Rangers? I think they might be on there. How about the tier list of Ranger allies like Bulk, Skull, Fran, and even Victor? There was a Blue Ranger before Billy from the 60s. Okay, alright, I did not know that. In the comics, there was a previous Mighty Morphin who failed on their first mission. Okay. Yeah, sorry, I haven't read a ton of Power Ranger comics. I read the basics just to get attached to the Psycho Rangers because I really like the Psychos. Alright, read that comment. Alright, we'll go over this list one last time for any late birds showing up, or for people just skip to the end to see where everyone landed. Okay, so dead last, we have Jake. Wasn't really any surprise. Jake is an awful Ranger, whether he's black or green. Easily our last place Green Ranger. Then we have Tommy Oliver, who didn't even show up. And we have Carlos, the Green Turbo Ranger, and Carlos was easily the worst replacement of them all. These 3 easily F tier, green with envy, not as good as all the others up top. But in question mark, the ones I don't know, I do not know Riley very well. I do not know Izzy, have not watched Cosmic Fury, and I know I still haven't watched Jungle Fury, so Fant, the Mystic Spirit Ranger, is down here. Just don't know anything about these characters. Then in light green, we have Mike. Oh, poor Mike. You are just so boring. Then we have A-Squad's Traitor Green Ranger. Yeah, I like the twist, but this one didn't really talk much. Charlie was more or less the mouthpiece for all these Traitor Rangers, so lightweight greens. Then Beta Bridge, we have Bridge, of course, and Xander. Didn't really grow attached to these characters. They were fine. I didn't absolutely hate them. They had their moments to shine, but not at all what I would consider top Ranger material. The only colors not in the main 5/3 is gold and silver. The other colors we saw is purple and orange. Yeah, I might count them under 6 Ranger colors. Also, Bioman was a first Power Rangers show, but was scrapped into the Mighty Morphin, where they recycled Billy Cranston's name. You can thank Wiz for Death Battle exhibitions about Billy Cranston's character origin. And it is done. This is Dragon Ranger Akira signing off. Bye, Akira. Then at Emerald Knights, we have Ziggy. He did grow on me. I'll put him up higher on this list as a Green Ranger. We have Damon. Still really love him. Lost Galaxy is one of my favorite Ranger shows, and I will defend that he is a funny Green Ranger. And we have Cam. Cam was a dick at the start, but he grew very likable. The Green Samurai Ranger was easily the best Ranger on that team, so all 3 of these guys, A-rank Emerald Knights. Then the S tier, the Forever Green, I guess you could say my top 5 Green Rangers. We have Joel, fun flyboy who finally won the girl at the end. Adam, Johnny Young Bosch is a legend, so of course he's up here. He was awesome as the Black Mighty Morphin Ranger, and I have no doubt that he was a kick-ass Green Zeo Ranger. Psycho Green. The Psycho Rangers are awesome, and of course their 6th Ranger was just as badass and scary. Then we have Trip, easily one of the best, well-likable Greens. Really liked his character arc, and his Stand Up to Racists episode is easily a timeless classic. And number 1, big shock, Tommy Oliver. He is the best, and I will be sticking him up high as one of the best Green Rangers of all time. Tommy Oliver was a classic back on Mighty Morphin, and to this day, he has not been dethroned as the best Green Ranger. He is a classic forever Green. So you got that. Tommy Oliver's number 1, and Jake is rock bottom last place. Well, the Purple Rangers are not 6 Rangers. Yeah, but I might squeeze them in there anyway. Wait, where's the Green Ranger Rita Repulsa? Does she really count? She doesn't even don the green armor for more than 5 seconds. Alright, if we're counting movie Rita Repulsa, I will put her on light green. Along with Zordon, she was barely a Ranger for like 5 seconds. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Take one last snapshot if you can't see all my Rangers up here. Tommy Oliver, big shock, is number 1, and Jake, dead last, number 0. So, this completes my tier list. We only have a few colors left. I think the biggest one people want is blue, but we might count all the 6 Rangers and odd colors out on a tier list. We'll see where things go off in the future, but for now, I'm going to be working on a video next, so we'll see how things play out. I know you all want the Blue Ranger next, so that's most likely the next tier list stream, but we'll see. Tommy for Ranger President. You mean he's not already? She counts. You legit added in Tommy who didn't show up. Alright, so Rita Repulsa will be on light green if she was here. Will blue be next? Most likely, blue's a prime color, so we'll probably do that before the 6 Rangers. If there is a 6 Ranger tier list, I might have to make one. But yeah, we'll see what we do next. For now, I'm going to be working on a new video. Wolf is currently working on a video now too, so hopefully that'll be done soon this week. But thank you all for joining us on these tier lists. I'm glad you really love these Power Ranger content we've been pumping out, and this was definitely fun. A much lighter tier list, and the Green Ranger definitely had a lot more variety, as you can see here. A lot in different slots, basically. So, thank you all for joining us. So now I'll set you guys free, and you can enjoy your weekend. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, or just tune in for more videos posted here on Wolf Entertainment. I'm your host, Catastrophe, and I hope you guys stay green and happy.